Vice-Chancellor, fellow council members and staff of the university, graduands, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. It's customary for the university and its guests to gather as a body for the purpose of conferring academic awards on its graduates. To members of a university, the ceremony for conferring of awards is a particularly important and happy occasion in the university year. To all of you, I extend a very warm welcome. To graduands, graduates, and diplomats, I offer congratulations and best wishes. This is only the second year in which the university has held a second semester graduation ceremony. Clearly, there is the demand for a ceremony during the second semester, as evidenced by the 250 graduands, graduates, and diplomats who will receive their awards today. This evening we have gathered in order that awards may be conferred on those who have satisfied the Council of the University that they have met the requirements for admission to awards undertaken within the faculties of Architecture, Art and Design, Arts and Social Science, Economics and Commerce, Education, Engineering, Medicine and Health Sciences, Nursing, and Science and Mathematics. The university's mission commits it to the provision of quality education, research training, and service in partnership with industry, commerce, and the community, regionally, nationally, and internationally. It's committed also to the continuous improvement and review of this provision. The university has a commitment to the advancement and transmission of knowledge by the pursuit, recognition, and the achievement of excellence in scholarship, research, and teaching. This will be evidenced in the course of today's ceremony. Education today is about the acquisition of lifelong learning skills. I believe that the awards to be conferred upon our graduands, graduates, and diplomats today will qualify them to make significant contributions in the local, national, and in the case of some, the international community. Lastly, I take this opportunity to remind those receiving their testamenters today that as graduates and diplomats of the university, you automatically become members of convocation. You thus join some 45,000 other graduates who have an opportunity through elected representatives to become involved in the governance of the university. Through convocation, you will also be kept informed of activities and developments at the university. By the authority conferred upon me by the Council, I will now formally confer academic awards. Will all candidates for admission to degrees and other awards please stand? In the name of the Council and by my authority as Chancellor, I confer the awards specified in the programme on all those graduands, graduates and diplomats who are present today, and in absentia on those unable to be with us. I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Architecture to present a graduate from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Construction Management in the specialisation of Building, Ned Sardelic. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of a graduate from the Faculty of Architecture.
I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences to present graduates from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Michael Allenby. Kylie Eyre. Damien Barrett. Matthew Blackstock. Antonio Botalezo. Nicole Brett. Elizabeth Brooker. Carleen Butcher. Kerry Carman. Simon Coyle. Fiona DeWitt. Alan Duncan. Ruba Elahaj. Jeng Sing Fong. Lucinda Jamel. Kathleen Goddard. Terry Godandez. Lorraine Michelle Hipworth. Linda Hutchinson. Lynette Jenkins. Colleen Ledlin. Barbara Lightfoot. Alison Lilly. Stephen Lunn. Fiona McEwen. Anne McCowan. Mandy Merlin. Anne Middleton. Elizabeth O'Connor. Matthew Phillips. Winston Piddington. Gianna Perillo. Roger Price. Brett Putney. Bonnie Ray. Danuta Rain. Heidi Rodham. Craig Ross. Alison Rosario. Emma Ryan. Matthew William Stanton. Cara Stepine. Maria Stepini. Stephen Taylor. Joanne Thompson. Sharon Titer. And Megan Wright. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the specialisation of Communication Studies. Andrew Lobb. Catherine Marnie. Susan Mackay. And Jessica Mooney-Smith. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Arts in the specialisation of Psychology. Honours Class 2, Division 1, Melissa Clare. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Social Science. Kim Gray. Roberta Kerr. Nicholas O'Dwyer. And Deborah Smith. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Social Science in the specialisation of Recreation and Tourism. Deborah McElligott. And Catherine Nettleton. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Social Science in the specialisation of Welfare Studies. Stephen Bentz. Beverly Cox. Kylie Ann Falconer. Janice Hughes. Helen Nance. Robin Talbot. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Arts with Honours. In the specialisation of Geography, Class 2, Division 1, Rosemary Epis. In the specialisation of History, Class 2, Division 1, Michelle Pashkov. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Master of Applied Ethics, Judith Thompson. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Master of Letters, Margaret Williams. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Master of Social Science, Margaret Fitzgerald. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Social Work, John Codigan. Wendy Thompson. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates of the Faculty of Arts and Social Science.
I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Economics and Commerce to present graduates and diplomates from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you candidates who have satisfied requirements for the award of the Diploma in Computing Studies. Alan Bamford. Shane Johns. Jody Paul. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Business, Kim Alford. Louise Allen. Jason Anderson. Helen Baker. Glenn Brasington. Suzanne Broad. Donna Brown. Narelle Caldwell. Maria Cruz. Diana Freeman. Stephanie Green. Samantha Hart. Melissa Hoffman. Michelle Holden. Kerry Jeff. Dean Murphy. Stephen Riley. Helen Seaver. Colette Simon. Tara Smolly. Jenny Sue. Mark Weir. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Commerce. Gillian Adams. Glenn Armanasco. Tu Pheong Bang. Elisa Barbara. Dean Bramble. Sharon Buchanan. Glenn Buxton. Murray Collis. Anthony Darr. Nigel Donovan. John Drummond. Tracy Fairhall. Brett Fisher. Nick Gontachik. Scott Haig. Brett Heaston. James Hodson. Jason Jarrett. David Keeling. Kristen Kinder. Francis Colo. Gary Lamb. Lau Peng Kok. Dean Lawrence. Karen Lee. Yuckley. Lee Keong Ling. Craig Little. Annie Marjosian. Miro Mislov. Shane Morgan. Nathan Moynihan. Michelle Murray. Fiona Neville. Stephen Norris. Heidi Payne. Jennifer Pierce. Jane Perrin. Douglas Pickering. Edmondo Perillo. Matthew Ralston. Jeffrey Roberts. Ruth Rodriguez. Lloyd Rogers. Michael Rogers. Nicole Routley. Jeffrey Shanks. Melinda Smith. Catherine Stewart. Joanne Sutherland. Rod Thomas. Elizabeth Tony. Bruce Walmsley. Georgina Way. Dean White. Rosalie Wilkie. Stephanie Williams. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Economics. Grant Bambach. Evan Brownell. Nicole Faulkner. Michelle Fennerty. Rajesh Khatri. Linda Knight. Michael Stackpool. Philip Stewart. Abigail Sweep. Carly Taylor. Melissa Turner. Jason White. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Information Science. Dina Bancroft. Andrew Foster. Vanessa Franklin. Anne Morlin. Nicole Morton. Stephen O'Neill. Jason Steen. Lynn Wood. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Economics with honours. Class 2, Division 1, Penny Reeves. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Business Administration, Carlo Alvarez. Kofi Fee. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of diplomates and graduates of the Faculty of Economics and Commerce.
I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Education to present graduates from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Education in the specialisation of English History, Jennifer Meehan. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree Bachelor of Education in the specialisation of Industrial Arts, Design and Technology, Michael Stewart. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Education in the specialisation of Music, Rebecca Kelly. Jodie Muir. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Education in the specialisation of Physical Education, Linda Campbell. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Educational Studies, Betty Cartwright. Robert Drummond. Lorraine Harvey. Diane Patton. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Educational Studies, Ruth Higginbottom. Bronwyn James. Lynette McKenzie. Glenys Perry. David Ralston. Linda Wareham. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree Master of Special Education, Margaret Wright. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates of the Faculty of Education.
I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering to present graduates from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Computer Science, Anthony Bell. Christy Field. Brett Johansson. Paul Murphy. Linda Seymour. Mark Shearing. Christopher Slater. Daniel Udovic. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in the specialisation of Electrical Engineering, Lucas Bohm. Paul Malinchuk. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in the specialisation of Civil Engineering, Richard Murphy. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in the specialisation of Computer Engineering with Honours Class 1, Peter Gordon. Chancellor, I present to you a candidate who has satisfied requirements for the award of the Graduate Diploma in Computing, Bradley Gervan. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the graduates of the Faculty of Engineering.
I now call on the Acting Dean of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences to present graduates and diplomats from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you a candidate who has satisfied requirements for the award of the Diploma in Applied Science in the specialisation of Medical Radiation Technology, Kirsty Tonkin. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science in the specialisation of Consumer Science, Sally Benton. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Health Science in the specialisation of Occupational Therapy, Rochelle Beer. Gavin Brealey. Renee Bussell. Marie Cullen. Doone Campbell. Michelle Carrington. Kimberly Cohen. Mario D'Amico. Judith Dent. Brett Ashley MacDonald. Jane McLeod. Catherine McLaughlin. Maria Mitchell. Fiona Morgan. Lee Morrison. Ellen Mungovan. Waju Park. Nicole Preston. Catherine Pritchard. Louise Rabbit. Paula Wickham. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates and a diplomat of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences.
I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Nursing to present graduates and a diplomat from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you a candidate who has satisfied the requirements for the award of the Diploma in Health Science in the specialisation of nursing, Robin Nikoff. Chancellor, I present to you a candidate who has satisfied the requirements for the award of the Graduate Diploma in Nursing in the specialisation of midwifery, Martha Parsons. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the graduate and a diplomat from the Faculty of Nursing.
I now call on the Dean of the Faculty of Science and Mathematics to present graduates from that faculty.
Chancellor, I present to you a graduate in the degree of Bachelor of Applied Science in the specialisation of Environmental Assessment and Management, Sarah O'Brien. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Environmental Science, Suzanne Farley, Fiona Lewis, Shireen Mitchell, George Schneider, Stuart Tyler, Victoria Wills, Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Mathematics, Sandra Maris, Willem Plazier, Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Science, Madeline Boyd, Sonia Cousins, Fiona Fung, Leslie Gidley, John Heaney, Maria Lee, Nigel McAndrew, Catherine McLean, Andrew Milgate, Tammy Ross, Andrew Sargent, Rebecca Saw, Wendy Timms, Christopher Walbridge, David Williams, Christian Wald, Sarah Worth, Bradley Young, I present to you, Chancellor, graduates in the degree of Bachelor of Science in the specialisation of Aviation, David Everingham, Peter Hilkemeyer, Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in the specialisation of Biological Sciences, Class 2, Division 1, Maria Baumann. Kiarissa Lawson, in the specialisation of Psychology, Class 2, Division 1, Roberta McLeod. In the specialisation of Chemistry, Honours Class 1, Anthony Callan. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates of the Faculty of Science and Mathematics.
I call on the Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Research and Information Technology to present Research Masters and Doctor of Philosophy degree candidates.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Arts. I present to you Andrew Buck, Bachelor of Arts from the University of New South Wales. Mr. Buck's thesis is on The Ghost of Feudalism, Law and Idea of Property in New South Wales, 1788 to 1863. Chancellor, I present to you Amanda Serrano, Bachelor of Arts and Diploma of Education from this university. Ms. Serrano's thesis is on The Portrait of a Real Person, T.H. White's portrayal of Guinevere and her adaptation to stage and screen. Chancellor, I present to you Brenda Wright, Bachelor of Arts from this university. Ms. Wright's thesis is on Narratives in Conversations. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Master of Early Childhood Education. I present to you Edna Lay, Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Letters from the University of New England. Ms. Lay's thesis is on Factors Affecting the Education of Young Children. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of the Master of Education in the specialisation of Industrial Education. I present to you Rodney Jones, Bachelor of Education from this university. Mr. Jones' thesis is on the prediction of Year 7 performance in design and technology. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Engineering. I present to you Kelvin Graham, Bachelor of Engineering from James Cook University of North Queensland. Mr. Graham's thesis is on the flexural behaviour of pre-stressed hollow clay masonry. Chancellor, I present to you Peter Wall, Bachelor of Science from the University of New South Wales. Mr. Wall's thesis is on the investigation of rock fragment image sizing using spectral analysis techniques. Chancellor, I present to you Ross Cockerell, Bachelor of Engineering from this university. Mr. Cockerell's thesis is on the steam temperature control in thermal power plants. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Nursing. I present to you Isabel Higgins, Associate Diploma in Nursing from Newcastle College of Advanced Education. Ms. Higgins' thesis is on a study of the lived experience of care and the absence of care from nurses in an acute tertiary referral hospital in Australia. Chancellor, I present to you Yun-Hee Jeon, Bachelor of Health Science Nursing from this university. Ms. Jeon's thesis is on the lived experience of caring for a family member with chronic mental illness, a phenomenological study. Chancellor, I present to you graduates of the degree of Master of Psychology Clinical. I present to you Janine Budd, Bachelor of Science from this university. Ms. Budd's thesis is on memory performance of normal and dementing elderly adults on motor and verbal tasks using the spaced retrieval technique. Chancellor, I present to you Carol Dennis, Bachelor of Arts from this university. Ms. Dennis' thesis is on the assessment of observable DSM-3R symptoms of anxiety in adults with severe or profound mental retardation. Chancellor, I present to you Marianne Gauci, Bachelor of Science from the Australian National University and Doctor of Philosophy from the University of Queensland. Dr. Gauci's thesis is on guided imagery and relaxation training, application to the treatment of allergic rhinitis. Chancellor, I present to you Robert Redpath, Bachelor of Science from this university. Mr. Redpath's thesis is on the relationship between disordered eating behaviour and diabetic control in non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate of the degree of Master of Psychology Educational. I present to you Brian Houston, Bachelor of Arts from this university. Mr. Houston's thesis is on the relationship between sociometric status, peer acceptance, and a student's perception of quality of school life in a public secondary school. Chancellor, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to a graduate who has successfully completed a prescribed program of study, principally of research. A thesis embodying the outcomes of the research is the principal basis of examination. The degree is only awarded if the thesis makes a significant and original contribution to knowledge and understanding of the field of knowledge with which it is concerned. Today, the university is proud to honour Doctor of Philosophy graduates who have satisfied these rigorous criteria for the award of the degree. Chancellor, I present to you Janice Shaw, Bachelor of Arts and Diploma of Education from this university. Dr. Shaw's thesis is entitled Australian Discontinuous Narrative, the Continuing Story. This thesis examines the manner in which the discontinuative narrative in Australia has developed from the short story cycle to a genre which incorporates a diversity of forms, both fictional and factual, interrelated by recurring characters, themes and symbols, and a common narrative perspective. It also proposes that the writers in this study continually foreground the way in which their writing comments on the nature of fiction itself. This has been achieved through utilising the potential of the discontinuous narrative to reveal the artifice of fiction and the interrelationship of writer, text and reader in a genre which relies upon the distinctive role of the reader to construct the text. Chancellor, I present to you Nancy Cushing, Bachelor of Arts from Dalhousie University and the Master of Museum Studies from Toronto University. Dr. Cushing's thesis is entitled Creating the Coalopolis, Perceptions of Newcastle, 1770 to 1935. This thesis is concerned with the role Newcastle has played in Australian society by taking on the associations of industry. From its beginning as a place of secondary punishment to its 20th century incarnation as a steel city, the construction of Newcastle by both Novocastrians and outsiders has enabled other Australians to perpetuate an image of Novocastrians as people both of the city and of the bush. Chancellor, I present to you Kathleen McPhillips, Bachelor of Arts from Macquarie University. Dr. McPhillips' thesis is entitled Feminism, Religion and Modernity. This thesis provides an alternative explanation of women's religious experience to those proposed by the conventional accounts of the sociology of religion. It examines the Christian foundations of Western modernity and explores theoretical issues of the significance to feminism, religion and modernity. It argues that women's religious agency has been under-conceptualised by social theory and religion and Western feminine scholarship, and an ethnographic methodology is used to examine the social construction of religious meaning by women in a feminist religious group, Women Church. This thesis concludes by suggesting that it is possible both theoretically and in practice to deconstruct both secular and religious discourses and in turn to construct alternative understandings of religious emancipation. Chancellor, I present to you Patricia Stanton, Bachelor of Arts from the University of Sydney and Bachelor of Commerce from this university. Dr. Stanton's thesis is entitled Corporate Accountability to Non-Shareholder Users of Published Accounting Data. This thesis is concerned with corporate accountability to non-shareholders. 5 empirical studies examine non-shareholders' rights and usage of financial information. All use such information to monitor managements and to clarify accountability relationships. Traditional accounting was found to be not useful for non-investor users. This thesis concludes that the need for corporate accountability justifies the provision of financial information to non-shareholder users. Chancellor, I present to you Sanka Bhattacharya, Bachelor of Engineering from Jadavpur University and Master of Engineering from the Asian Institute of Technology. Dr. Bhattacharya's thesis is entitled The Radiative Properties and Thermal Effects of Ash Clouds and Deposits in Pulverised Fuel-Fired Furnaces. This thesis is concerned with the fine ash product arising from coal combustion. This ash has a dominant effect on the transfer of radiant heat energy in power station furnaces. The ash scatters energy and light in the same way as dust in the atmosphere. But this thesis represents the first study quantifying this effect in coal combustion environments. The work involved collaboration with research groups in the United States of America, Germany, and the CSIRO. Its direct outcome is the identification of effects which could lead to enhanced coal-fired power station efficiency. Chancellor, I present to you Kat Tu, Bachelor of Engineering from the University of Tasmania and Master of Engineering from the University of Wollongong. Dr. Tu's thesis is entitled The Impingement of Plane Turbulent Jets and Their Application in Industrial Coating Control. This thesis is concerned with extensive investigations conducted of the mean and time-dependent characteristics of impinging plane turbulent jets, and analysis was provided for coating film flow behaviour under the influence of impinging jets in order to provide an insight into this industrially important process. The results have been used to develop a computer model for use in predicting and controlling the coating thickness in industrial production of coated steel products. Chancellor, I present to you Janelle Kidd, Bachelor of Science from the University of New South Wales. Dr. Kidd's thesis is entitled Purification of Antigens from Non-Typable Haemophilus Influenza and Immune Mechanisms Induced in the Lung. Sorry. This thesis is concerned with research into the development of a new vaccine against a bacteria that commonly causes respiratory and middle ear infection. Molecules were purified from the surface of the bacteria, and the results from that purification were used in immunisation studies in order to determine whether a suitable vaccine component had been identified. The study identified 2 molecules which may become components of a new vaccine against infection by this bacteria. Chancellor, I present to you Christine Paul, Bachelor of Arts from this university. Dr. Paul's thesis is entitled The Development of Printed Health Education Messages. Despite the widespread use of printed health education materials, little is known about the cost-effectiveness of the various approaches to their development and use. This thesis explored that cost-effectiveness of the various approaches. It was found that, contrary to current practice, the most cost-effective approach involved the addition of behavioural strategies to printed health education materials. Chancellor, I present to you Mark Slatcher, Bachelor of Medical Science and Bachelor of Medicine from this university. Dr. Slatcher's thesis is entitled Lower Limb Training Injuries in an Army Recruit Population. This thesis comprises a prospective study of the epidemiology of lower limb stress fractures, a study of the prognosis of lower limb stress fractures, a randomised controlled trial comparing a pneumatic leg brace with conventional treatment for the management of tibial shaft stress fractures, and a randomised controlled clinical trial assessing the efficacy of a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agent called piroxicam in the treatment of acute ankle sprains. Chancellor, I present to you Raoul Walsh, Bachelor of Arts and Diploma of Education from Macquarie University. Dr. Walsh's thesis is entitled Smoking Cessation in Pregnancy. This thesis includes 2 reviews, one of which examined the effects of smoking in pregnancy, and the second of which assessed the feasibility of published smoking programs under antenatal conditions. It then went on to 4 chapters which reported original data dealing with a survey of smoking interventions offered by Australian antenatal clinics, an analysis of factors predicting smoking in pregnancy, a study estimating the proportion of smokers misclassified as such by midwives, and an evaluation of a new cessation program in pregnancy. Chancellor, I present to you Zhu Li, Bachelor of Science and Master of Science from Zhejiang University. Dr. Zhu's thesis is entitled A Study of the Alpha Copper 82 Aluminium 18 100 Surface. Many of the effects and problems associated with alloys when used in industrial applications such as catalysis in properties such as the non-lead fuel systems relate to the properties of the very outermost layers of the solid, with thicknesses of the order of 1 or 2 atoms. This study is concerned with the analysis of the surface properties of a copper 82% aluminium alloy. This alloy is an important model for industrially useful materials. The composition of the outermost few layers was determined layer by layer for the clean alloy, and the effect of various chemical reactions important in catalysis on the surface composition and the atom arrangement on that surface was then determined. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the Research Masters and the Doctor of Philosophy degree graduates.
I now call upon the Vice-Chancellor to present a member of the staff of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences for an award for excellence in teaching.
Chancellor, the University's Awards for Excellence in Teaching scheme was established in 1992 to encourage and reward the development of creative approaches to teaching which stimulate or facilitate student learning either generally or of particular concepts or methodologies. The scheme reflects the University's acknowledgement of the importance of teaching as one of its major responsibilities and is a statement of its commitment to continuous improvement in this activity. Information on the practices or principles which are the subjects of awards are disseminated throughout the University as models of good practice to encourage other academic staff to be similarly thoughtful and creative in their own approaches to teaching. Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present to you Ms. Patricia Jacobs as a recipient for the University's Award for Excellence in Teaching. The education of occupational therapists began in Australia in 1942, moving into the University of Queensland in 1950 as a 4-year degree course. Since that time, traditional education principles were employed in courses throughout the country. In 1990, the course at Newcastle commenced, initiating a new approach to occupational therapy, that of problem-based learning. Ms. Jacobs was responsible for the development and implementation of this new course, formulating student learning units focusing on concepts and process, initiating the unique integrated model of academic fieldwork education. What this means in practice is students are presented with real-life scenarios which they're likely to meet in their practice. They explore these concept areas fully within an academic framework, then immediately undertake a fieldwork placement in the same area of study to apply and develop the knowledge and skills they've acquired. The graduates of the occupational therapy program have been very well received by the community as a consequence of this approach. Typically, employers report that the graduates show initiative and independence in their approach to work. Their motivation to extend their knowledge and practice skills reinforces the philosophy of self-directed learning acquired as undergraduates and is welcomed by the practitioners with whom they work. Ms. Jacobs' many years of experience of using this approach has been recognised internationally and has been rewarded with invitations to conduct workshops and consultancies.
I now have great pleasure in calling upon Professor Gus Guthrie, Vice-Chancellor, University of Technology, Sydney, to deliver the occasional address.
Chancellor,
I was delighted and honoured to receive your invitation to give the occasional address at this graduation ceremony. One of my reasons for accepting was that despite having been at UTS for nearly 10 years, I have never been to the University of Newcastle. This campus was the only university campus in New South Wales that I had not visited. May I offer my congratulations to all the graduates. To complete a degree or diploma is a great achievement, even more so when you have been studying part-time. You now possess a qualification that is recognised worldwide. I'd also like to offer my congratulations to parents, partners and friends whose support has enabled you to complete your studies. It seems an essential part of all graduation addresses, and I feel I must continue that tradition to remind you that education is a lifelong process, and whatever level of degree you have received, you will need to go on refreshing your knowledge throughout your life. My role at UTS graduation ceremonies is to sit quietly on the stage and, amongst other things, to listen to occasional addresses. When drafting notes for this speech, I calculated I had listened to nearly 120 such addresses in the past 9.5 years. Unfortunately, they are all categorised by one common feature. I can remember little of what they were about. The exceptions are the few speakers that chose to incorporate some dramatic effect into their speech. One I shall remember clearly. We were holding that particular ceremony at the Sydney Opera House, and after being introduced, the speaker went to the lectern, just as I've done, and without any warning, burst into song for about 1 minute. He then said, "Well, that fulfills my ambition to sing at the Sydney Opera House." He then went on to give us his address. So what can I talk to you about in the hope that some of you will remember what it was about in a few hours' time? At UTS, we have been giving considerable community debate recently about the future of universities, in particular of UTS, and we are developing a paper called UTS 2015. I noticed that your Vice-Chancellor, Professor Mortley, has also recently written a paper about the future of this university. I thought it might be interesting to share with you some of my thoughts and reflections on how universities have changed and what they might be like in 15 or 20 years' time. Trying to be a futurist is a dangerous occupation when one thinks of the futures that have been predicted by others in the past. The predictions that are made are often more a guide to the preoccupations and concerns at the time of the prediction rather than the actual future. Looking back over predictions that have been made during the past 100 years suggests that technological developments are generally underestimated, whilst developments in social relations are usually wildly optimistic. For example, the Australian writer Helen Spencer's book Year in the Future, written in 1888, about 1988, predicted, among other things, that knife cleaning machines would be invented to lighten the domestic load. Other writers predicted airships that would travel from Sydney to London in only 10 days. Spence predicted world peace and a 6-hour working day. Others were convinced that alcoholism and crime would be virtually eliminated. I remember being told many times 50 years ago that by the 1990s there would be full employment and everyone would only work 4 days a week. But let us turn to the universities. When Harold Macmillan, later to become Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, went up to Balliol College, Oxford in the early years of this century, it is alleged that a tutor said to him, "Nothing you learn in this university, dear boy, will do you the slightest good in the afterlife, except the ability to detect humbug when you see it." That was probably the role and function of Oxford at that time. Oxford was showing its inheritance, that graduates should be civilised first and learned second. It is not a role I see for universities either now or in the future. Universities are among the oldest continuing institutions. Only religions have survived longer. Universities have always been changing and will always change. They are, after all, a force for change in society. They will change society and be changed by society. Therein lies a most delicate balance. Universities will always be subject to a wide range of pressures: business and industry, students, demography, governments of all sorts, social factors such as the role of women, the professional bodies, and so on. What has been taught in the universities has varied over the centuries, generally in response to the needs of society. Hundreds of years ago, it was theology for the church, law for the state, and medicine for society. Nowadays, virtually any subject worthy of study in depth, and I might say some others as well, form part of a university curriculum somewhere. Who would have forecast 20 years ago that tourism would be a degree subject in many Australian universities? This year, one Australian university has begun offering a degree in golf management. What might Australian universities be teaching in 20 years' time? Today, universities face a problem of their own making. They have become a necessity. A few score years ago, universities were of little real consequence to the society to which they belonged. They were almost irrelevant. Today, universities are integral to the economic well-being of a country. We now live in a knowledge-based society. Universities are a success because they provide the educated and trained people necessary to keep the modern technological society moving. Universities are now indispensable. However, the public universities must realise that in the future they will no longer have a monopoly, if they ever truly did, in the transmission, advancement and preservation of knowledge. Private universities and colleges will develop to share in this knowledge dissemination. Businesses are developing their own educational and training institutions. A few score years ago, there were probably as many clever people inside as outside universities. Today, there are many, many more outside, and this will have a tremendous impact on universities as we know them now. Let me quote from Sir Douglas Haig, writing in his excellent little book, Beyond Universities, A New Republic of the Intellect, in which he says, and I quote, "In the next 2 decades, people outside the universities will increasingly be working in similar ways and with similar talents to those within, and they will do so more innovatively and with greater vigour, because they will come to what they do untrammelled by academic traditions, preconceptions and institutions. The pioneers of the knowledge society will increasingly be able to compete with the universities and increasingly will do so. Since most universities are in the public sector and most knowledge businesses are in the private sector, this will be a battle which the private sector will threaten some of the public sector's most entrenched monopolies. To avoid being driven out of activities which they have imagined to be their own by right, the universities will have to make substantial changes in what they do and how they do it. Where they find that difficult, one solution will be to form alliances. Increasingly, the choice will be alliance or annihilation. The successful university of the 21st century cannot be an academic bunker." That's the end of the quote. This is a major challenge to universities, and I'm not sure that most are ready to answer it. As well as the pressures I've just highlighted, universities cannot be untouched by the major developments that are occurring in information technology, multimedia, and so on. Indeed, they are already beginning to be added to the armoury of teaching methodologies. We shall soon be at a point when almost any university subject could be available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year by multimedia network technology. Why should large classes of students all be required to turn up at the same time, at the same place, to be taught the same material, and even more importantly, why should they all be taught at the same pace? Once this level of technology is reached on a large scale, and is with us now on a small scale, there will be a very competitive global market for such subjects. Since in the future virtually any point on the globe will be accessible from any other point, why should most universities in the future bother to design and, and develop any subjects at all? After all, first-class subjects will be able to be purchased, so why bother with the expense of locally produced ones done with less resources? Institutions could become virtual universities, buying in all their subjects from other universities around the world. The new global communication companies could easily become the global universities of the future. What impact would that have on traditional universities? That would be a real intrusion of the private sector. Recently, these global communication companies have signed up top-class rugby league players for not that enormous sums of money. I wonder when Murdoch or one of the other global networks will buy up the best 10 or 20 physicists in the world to design physics subjects, or the best group of historians to develop history subjects and so on. It's not such a far-fetched idea. How should Australian universities respond to this? There is only one answer in my view, and that is as soon as possible they should form 3 or 4 consortia to pool resources and to develop some world's best subjects. If not, in 10 years' time we could be importing a major part of the degrees offered in our universities. But let me explore another aspect of this educational future. If subjects become available Excuse me. Let me explore another aspect of this future. If subjects become available for individual study at any time and at any individual student's own pace, what will happen to that important ingredient of education, social contact and social interaction, with both academic staff and with fellow students? Maybe this is really where universities will be differentiated. In the virtual university, there will be no necessity to meet other students and tutors except perhaps electronically. There may even be a virtual graduation ceremony via the internet. Our view of the University of the Future at UTS is that there will be a physical place called UTS, and that is where students will attend to meet their mentors, academics who will meet with them in small groups to challenge their understanding of what they've learnt from their individual study. It is my view that it is the quality of this personal backup which will distinguish universities in the future. But let me come back to you, the graduates whose success we are celebrating today. Is anything that I've been saying relevant to you? I've been talking about the future of universities and many of you who already left the university world. A few of you will come back as academics and hopefully change universities as they have always been changing. The majority of you will have an important role as members of convocation, as alumni of this university, to stay involved with the university and to develop its development from outside. Even in countries like the United States, which have much better alumni systems than here in Australia, the value of alumni is underrated. Recently in the Times Higher Education Supplement, an unnamed president of a university in the United States was quoted as saying, and I quote, "To know as much about our students on exit as we know about them on entry hardly seems an extraordinary expectation. How can we possibly give any meaningful leadership to program and service improvement without data on what our graduates know and think?" This is one of the challenges of the late 1990s that universities must attend to. We cannot remain as ignorant as we are on this important topic. I have seen universities change markedly in the 40 years since I first graduated. Universities will continue to change. You as graduates, as members of convocation of this university, can assist in helping to guide those changes. Universities must receive more help and more feedback from their graduates who are testing every day the relevance of their education. Again, my congratulations to you all, to the graduates, to the families, and to the staff of the university. Thank you for your patience in listening to me this evening. Thank you very much, Professor Guthrie, for that thought-provoking address. I must say that I would not like a virtual graduation ceremony. I happen to like the ones that we have today and enjoy immensely the shining eyes and the hope for the future, personal aspirations and the desire for service that I see with everyone who comes to receive their testament. So I, for one, for the moment, would not favour virtual graduations. But the future of universities is a very important subject, and a debate to which everybody here, no doubt, will contribute in the years to come. Thank you very much once again. I I now have great pleasure in inviting Mr. Anthony Callan to speak on behalf of the graduates.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, honoured guests, friends and fellow graduates. Initially, when asked to prepare this speech, I considered the numerous and assorted backgrounds from which we've all come and the variety of career paths that we may choose to pursue. Each graduate here tonight has their own story to tell, their own experiences and their own record of achievement. It is in a way a very personal triumph shared with those here tonight. Although we have our differences, we all came to university with essentially the same goal: to learn and build a platform from which to launch our futures. We have studied in interesting times. Not only have we grown and developed on a personal level, but we have also observed Australia emerge from a bust of crisis proportions into a period of growing optimism. As a science student, it is often difficult to ignore the changes and technological developments that occur throughout the world. Although it is easy to become mesmerised with the evolution of technology, if we consider recent scientific studies in the South Pacific, we may even find it hard to believe that we are in fact living in the middle of the 1990s. Whether the decision to begin nuclear testing in Muir Atoll is politically motivated or the result of the unrelentless quest for knowledge, it is not important. It is, however, a living reminder that as the next generation of scientists, it is our responsibility to ensure that we become a group of professionals not willing to dismiss or ignore the human and environmental costs of our decisions. Standing here and looking out on the class of 95, I'm confident that the education we have received gives us every chance to continue to develop into competent and creative leaders who will reject the unquestioning and uninspired approach of many who have gone before. Regardless of which faculty we are graduating from tonight, we've all been encouraged to think creatively, to challenge the accepted, and to open our minds to a range of views. With this in mind, we, the next generation of economists, teachers, engineers and healthcare workers, we look forward to the future, at all times considering the environmental and social consequences of our actions. It goes without saying that our university experience has not been solely devoted to the rigours of study. A complete education offers more than academic development. It offers us the opportunity to develop the more personal side of our character. During our undergraduate days, we are all exposed to numerous cultures, lifestyles and differences of opinion. Creative, sporting and religious groups, as well as events such as the O-Ball, Autonomy Day, the pub crawl, have formed a large part of our social lives in recent times. Through participation in such activities, we're encouraged to explore and develop our human potential, while all the time being prepared to accept and appreciate the richness and diversity of human nature. It is this awareness of the human side to each equation, a sense of responsibility towards others, that must be firmly in place in order to allow us to emerge as part of the solution, not as instigators of problems. As I mentioned before, tonight's graduation has special meaning for each individual. For some of us, it is the end of our formal education, a time to reflect on the past years, our personal development, and an opportunity to eagerly look towards the future. Or perhaps this is just a pause and a reward for the effort endured before some of us continue with further studies. Whichever, none of us graduating today can deny the support of those who fill the auditorium tonight. I thank you on behalf of the graduates, our family and friends, who have often been our greatest supporters, counsellors, motivators and critics, for the role you have played in bringing us to this graduation ceremony. Finally, on behalf of my fellow graduates, I wish also to thank our lecturers for making it possible for us to gain the knowledge and experience so critical for future development. Thank you for encouraging us to think creatively, to make mistakes and to learn by them. You have given the gift of education to a new generation of learners. But here is not the end of our learning, merely the beginning. Thank you.
I would like to thank Mr. Callan for sharing his personal thoughts with us in his speech, touching on the notion of lifelong learning and service. I must say I'm also pleased that there has been some beer and skittles in the academic mix during your time here. Ladies and gentlemen, I now declare this ceremony closed.